And so, for a season which promised so much, we now have to win our final 2 games, and even if we do, we might not even make the Euro Cup 2 thing. Hello everyone and welcome to the final episode of Norwich City Bouncing Back Season 5, and it will hopefully be remembered as the sort of the weird season, like that season of Community that wasn't funny. It's been odd, it's fair to say, and at least the positive is that it will be over, and we have at least achieved the board's main objective, which is finishing the top half. We will definitely finish in the top half, whatever happens today. So obviously last time a strong defensive performance, but we did lose the penalty shootout to Liverpool in the FA Cup semi-final, and so we will not be doing that, which means all we have to play for is European qualification. The 2 games in between, as you would probably expect, we lost to Liverpool and we lost to Chelsea, which is just what we do. But last 2 games of the season, Blackburn, who are 20th, they're already relegated, and Newcastle, who are 17th and are trying to avoid relegation. It probably going to be quite tricky, to be honest, and we need to win both games because this is the league situation. It's just awful. This has just been, well, we've still won 16 matches, 9 draws, 11 defeats. That's actually better than some. It's better than some seasons that we've had, or sort of similar to other seasons, kind of. We're not far off. We haven't made as much progression as we kind of look like we might do earlier on. So obviously title's been wrapped up. Liverpool have got that one. Champions League places are completely out of reach. Once again, we find ourselves in a battle for whether we can finish 5th, 6th, 7th, or indeed in 8th, maybe even 9th, and not qualify for Europe at all. We're currently in 7th. This table's a bit of a mess at the moment. We're in 7th, 36 games played, 57 points. Aston Villa are 4 points ahead of us, but they only have 1 game left. Brighton have 3 games left, and they're 4 points ahead of us. So going to be difficult to catch them. The problem really is Tottenham, because they also have 3 games left, although one of them is against Brighton, so that could be quite helpful for us. They're only 2 points behind us. Southampton are 4 points behind us. They've got 2 games left. They could still catch us. Arsenal, I think the goal difference means they can't. So we could finish as low as 9th. We could finish as high as 5th. So Blackburn, first of all, their relegation is already confirmed. They've managed to get up to 10 points. It's still going to be a record-breakingly bad season. Although they have, in recent weeks, they beat Man United 3-2, which is just ridiculous. And, well, potentially could see United not finish 2nd. But there we are. We have to win this game. We absolutely have to win. Villa have just beaten Man United as well. That's brilliant. That's really great. So then, what are we going to do? We've experimented with a 4-2-3-1. To be honest, it's not been particularly good. I prefer the 4-3-3. It is more defensively sound, and it offers going forwards. Now, I think what we need to do, we're going to stick with the old sort of faithful from the start, but what I've been looking at doing is adapting this to be more attacking and to sort of help break down opponents a bit more. Some useful advice from the comment section, which we will look to do potentially in this game, depending on how things are going, is we're going on shorter passing, dropping the tempo down. That's something we'll look to do if need be. I have also set up, and this is something I'm probably going to look to use more next season, a much more attacking variant of the system. Not losing the shape, but changing up the instructions, because I've been thinking about this quite a lot. It's mostly the same. Some role changes, some duty changes really, going attacking from both wings, the striker going attacking as well, and then one of the wing backs attacking, one of them on support, rather than what we currently have, which is far more defensive. And it's the instructions where things have basically changed. Defensively, we're pretty much the same, but in possession and in transition, so this is something we can potentially try. I'm not going to go with it for now. We're going to go with this for now, but if we're going to change things up, it will be to that initially, and if we really need a goal, to the entirely a different formation. As for the lineup, Butland, of course, is going to be in goal in the absence of Pope. Lewis, Mepham, Tarkovsky, Hickey is the defence. Max Aarons is injured. He's going to miss both games today. That's unfortunate, really. I think he's going to thrive in the other system. Midfield is going to be Cook, Phillips, and Ali. Buendia is on the right-hand side. Cantwell comes in on the left because James Maddison has been absolutely awful. I think the biggest issue with him playing on the wings is he's too slow, so we might need to look to get somebody else in there. And then striker, well, I'm giving it to Adam, but neither of them's been particularly good. Right, this is it. The last few seasons, we've kind of been in relatively similar positions. I've done a team meeting before this one to try and get them a bit more motivated, and we found a way of digging ourselves out of it. These are 2 games we should be winning. They're 2 games we should be winning easily. But we've said that about a lot of games in this save. We haven't done it. But this is it. We need to get it done, or we won't be in Europe at all. Cantwell on the ball early on to Dele Alli. Blackburn they're down and they're out. They've got nothing to play for. This should be an easy 3 points. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. We got to do it though. Cook, Buendia on the right hand side. Lots of room to run into early on. If we can get an early goal or 2, that would be great. That's gone in. That's the slice of luck we kind of need. It's an own goal and nothing that he could do about it whatsoever. This is more like it. Where has this been for much of the season? Great work from Buendia. Cross comes in and then, I mean, he's just hit his ankle. He tried to duck out of the way and completely misjudged it. There is a reason why they've only got 10 points. Jamal Lewis, need to see him doing well today in the absence of his, sort of more attacking counterpart on the right hand side. Exchange of passes with Lewis Cook. If we can just grab a couple of goals, 3 goals in the first half, we're fine. That's been the problem, really. It's been not scoring early enough or scoring 1 and then doing nothing else. If we get a 2-3 goal lead, then we're so solid defensively, we're not going to throw that away. But it's just getting that in the first place. Calvin Phillips has somehow not scored. Neither has Dele Alli. I mean, it was a fantastic save. Buendia, free kick, edge of the area, goes to the shot, and it's nearly been carried in. This goalkeeper, he's kept 2 goals out there, but he's riding his luck. Another chance. Free kicks all over the place. As soon as we don't have James Maddison on the pitch, and Chris Mepham has scored his 4th of the season. 2-0. This one is looking good. Simple ball in. That's what we like to see. Using the set piece as well. We've not done enough of that this season, despite having one of the best free kick takers in the game in our team. Right, 2-0. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's keep it going. Get a 3rd, maybe a 4th. We did beat them 6-0 earlier on in the season. And, not do the thing where we throw it away. They've got a goal back. Ben Wilmot has scored his 1st of the season. 1st for the club. Brilliant. Really good. I mean, what was I saying? 3-0, I think we'd be fine. 2-0, no. Simple short free kick. No one's paying any attention at all. 5 minutes after the restart. And, great. Well done, guys. The rest of the second half, though, seems to have disappeared. We're in injury time, though, so I'm expecting the equaliser any second now. We've got a free kick. Calvin Phillips puts it in. Callum Wilson heads over. At least they don't have a goal kick to boot down. Oh, wait, they do. I thought it was a corner. I mean, don't know why I thought it was a corner. Basic rules of football there. Here's the goal kick. Boot it down. Swift knocks it on. Here's Bradley Dack. The equaliser's coming, surely. Ampadu makes a block, which is good. Maybe we can now get a 3rd and put this to bed. No, Callum Wilson's giving it away. There's 30 seconds left for us to survive. I mean, I'm not confident in any way. They've got a throw. 4 seconds on the clock. I mean, blow the whistle, mate. Blow the whistle. We clear it away. They've still got it. We're over the time now. And it's over. It is actually over. Blackburn, congratulations. You are heading for the record for lowest points ever. We just about get over the line. 2-1. Not convincing in the end, especially the second half, but job done. Job done indeed. Crucial, vital, doesn't really matter too much about the performance. We've got 60 points again. We have reached 60 points every season we've been in the division. That's at least something to cling on to. We're still in 7th place. That's potentially the best we're going to do. It's going to come down to the other results. Right, Brighton are playing Southampton and Spurs are playing Man City. We need some big favours, especially for Spurs to lose out. Okay, we get some big favours. Brighton have lost, which is, I think, it's obviously good, but I think they're probably still going to have enough to get over the line, given they still have an extra game in hand. But Spurs losing as well is crucial. Although Southampton have now overtaken them, but they can't. Southampton can't catch us. There's only 1 game left. They're 4 points behind. They cannot now catch us. Spurs still can. But right, those are some pretty good results, some pretty helpful results. Right, then of course, Brighton are actually now playing Tottenham, so if Tottenham lose, we're definitely going to be in getting in 7th place at least. If they don't, then, well, it gets more interesting, although we can then potentially catch Brighton, so let's just see. Okay, Brighton have beaten Spurs, which is probably the best thing for us. We now can't get 5th, so it will definitely not be matching the position of the last 2 seasons. We probably now will not even qualify for the Europa League, but at least we're in some form of Europe. 7th is already confirmed as being Euro Cup 2. So Spurs now can't catch us. Neither can Southampton. We are at least going to be in Europe in some way. There it is, Euro Cup 2. It's not been a great season, but at least we're in something, and this is something that, it's actually, or I was going to say, more feasible for us to win. We've already won the Europa League, so, but you know what I mean. And Carlo Ancelotti has been sacked by Tottenham for that defeat. Oh, well, that's nice, isn't it, Wayne? I'm overrated, am I? Overrated. I've taken a side from the Championship, won the Europa League with them, and qualified for Europe every single year we've been in the top flight. I mean, you're about to get relegated with Newcastle, Wayne, so you consider me to be overrated, mate. Thanks very much. Right, so here we go. Obviously, we want to try and get in the Europa League. Of course we do, but at least we're in something. I was pretty certain we weren't going to qualify for anything, so at least we've managed to get 7th. I'll take that. I'm happy with that, if nothing else. So final day. Brighton's result, of course, doesn't matter, which is good because they're playing Blackburn anyway, so you wouldn't expect any help from them. So it is basically Aston Villa versus Wolves. That is the most important game as far as we're concerned. If we win, and Brentford and indeed Bristol City potentially win their games, Brentford are against Liverpool, so probably not likely. Bristol City, they are against Everton, then we can relegate Newcastle today, which would be hilarious given everything that Wayne Rooney has just said. So I think I'm kind of tempted at this point, to maybe try this out. I think that might be the way to do it. We're at home, we're against a team who are not doing particularly well this season. Maybe if this is the way forward, I don't know, but if it is, this is a good opportunity to try it out when this game isn't under too much pressure. We're going to go for it. We can always switch it up if it's being too much of a problem. We've got an injury to Buendia. He's not going to be able to play today without any serious risk, so we're not going to risk him. Lookman comes in therefore on the left with Campbell on the right hand side. I'd love to play Marcus Edwards, but of course he is not available. Yeah, let's do it. Let's try it. Let's see how it goes. I think with it not being in our hands, obviously we do want to see if we can get into 6th place. We want to qualify for the Europa League, but with it not being in our hands, we'll keep the latest scores on here as well. Let's just go for this and see if this is the way to play next season. Well, so far, not really any sort of difference at all, really. Doing absolutely nothing, as you would probably expect. Ali has just sort of had that blocked with very limited effort. It'd be interesting to see whether we use the width to create chances. We're still going through the middle and just giving the ball away, which is great, because that's not what you've been asked to do, Calvin. What you've not been asked to do that either. What is that? Anyway, Cantwell, finally, driving forwards. It's a good effort. Phillips corner in. Maybe not the best idea to try this sort of in the last game of the season. I don't know. Right, looking to break down the right hand side. This is what we want to see. Cantwell finds Adam Eder. Can we see another goal from him to give us the lead? He's not managed to do it. He was not far away, but it wasn't enough. We're trying to work it. We're going through the middle again. Eder's found Lookman. It's a good opportunity to hit the post. Definitely the closest we've come today. I was about to say Villa is still drawing. They've just taken the lead against Wolves, which is great. And now Calvin Phillips is injured. Potential groin injury. Brilliant stuff. Harry Winks comes on. Of course, what we do now, even if we win, it's not going to be enough. So, good. Let's not lose though, eh? That would be bad. Newcastle on the ball, trying to pressure them to get it back. There's not really much pressure. We're still pressing with this. We're still looking to press the ball, but you would know from that. Right, Villa are 2-0 up, so the dream is very much over. Right, into the last half hour. Let's use this as an opportunity to give some of the youngsters a bit more game time. We'll bring on McCanny. We can only bring on one more, Davis or Hitchman. We'll go with Davis on for Dele Alli. He's not been particularly good. Let's give him about 25 minutes to see what they can do. Villa are 3-0 up now, so it was a nice dream, but it's going to be 7th. It's our worst position, our worst points tally, and the weakest European competition. Well, the XG is quite good, but we haven't really seen all that much today, so I'm not necessarily sure that this is the way to go next season. We got a chance though. McCanny's got the ball. He's running backwards. He had the whole pitch to run into. Yes, he wanted a bit of support, but he just sort of didn't really do anything there. Not particularly convincing. Hickey's then just given the ball away in pretty limp fashion. I'm not really sure this is what I want to be doing. Maybe it'll work with a bit more practice. Don't know what that was. Again, this is the issue. We are creating lots of opportunities. We've had 6 shots on target. We've seen barely any of them, so they can't have been that good. And we're not taking them. We're just not taking them. Is it, it's a striker thing, a winger thing. We just don't have good enough players. It's not the system issue. It's just the players are not good enough. Maybe that is just the case. Lookman finds Cantwell. plays it into Ryan Davis, and Ryan Davis has scored. Maybe it's the youngsters. Just bring them through. Let them play. Forget about James Maddison. Forget about players like that. Buendia as well. I think if there was ever a summer I was going to sell Emi Buendia, it would probably be this one. I mean, that's what we like to see. Not short passing, but when we do it like that, I don't mind. Davis scores. We've got the lead. And there we go. The season's over. Not our best work. But, I mean, you look at that. Look how many opportunities we created, and yet we've only scored one goal right at the very, very end. I don't think it's the tactic. I just think the players aren't good enough. And that's kind of as we've mentioned, it's kind of a problem with the fact that we are only able to sign the guys. All the best British and Irish players are obviously playing for the biggest clubs, and we'll never be able to get them because they're too expensive and their wages are too much money, and they don't even want to join us. That's just the nature of the thing, but that's why we're doing it. And that was a good win in the end. That was a good performance. I mean, the stats would tell you it was a good performance. We just only managed to get the breakthrough right at the very, very end. We've won though. We've won. 7th place is all we've got. 63 points. It's better than, we've finished in the Europa League with more points than that. So disappointing, unlucky perhaps. We have relegated Newcastle though. That is great. Brentford have beaten Liverpool on the final day. Liverpool don't get 100 points, and we've sent Newcastle down with that. And that, I'm happy with that after Wayne Rooney's disgraceful comments. Calvin Phillips out for 2 to 3 months with a hip injury. Great stuff. I mean, I suppose this is probably the best time to do that, as we are going to be not playing for 2 to 3 months, but still not really particularly ideal. So there we go. The board are disappointed that we only got Euro Cup 2 because we look like qualifying for the Europa League, which I suppose is fair enough, but it's not that bad. They only wanted us to get top half, so at least we did that. Although they're apparently not particularly up. Apparently we failed. We failed to qualify for the top half, despite the fact that we literally did. So that's great. Really good. I mean, don't know what you want about, but okay. So end of season review. It's looking very somber, very, very mournful. I mean, it's not been that bad. Yes, it's not been great, but it's not been the worst season ever. Transfers there. I'll go through this quite quickly because it wasn't our best season. We don't want to particularly dwell on how it went. It wasn't particularly amazing. Not a complete disaster, but not particularly good. Top shirt sellers. There we go. Just sort of, I guess you will have seasons like this. I think the defence has been amazing. They've kept us. They've made sure we've at least got some form of Europe. Midfield a little bit down. It's the attacking areas. They have massively let us down this season. Callum Wilson, he did well early on, but he's not been amazing. Ida's completely fallen off. Buendia, as I say, if there's interest, I'm probably going to sell him. Maddison has been awful. The fact he's in team of the season with a 6.74 sums up the whole year, really. Tarkovsky gets player of the season. Ida still gets young player of the year, which is, Dele Alli, top goal scorer with 12. 12. That is lower than Adams managed in any of the previous seasons. That is the issue. We just haven't been clinical enough. We just haven't been good enough in front of goal. Adam obviously is not going anywhere. Hopefully this is just a sort of a blip season for him. Wilson, if we can get someone else in, I think we'll look to do that. Not the best investment I've ever made. It's got to be the wings. Got to be the wings. That's got to be where we spend the bulk of the money. I don't know how much money we're going to get. We'll see that in a second. Board expectation next season, they want us to qualify for Euro Cup 2, which is what they wanted this time last year. But then after the summer, they were like, no, top half's fine. So we'll just accept that. I'm not too concerned. And I want to see how much money are we going to get. Well, I was thinking it might be down. It's not. 1.9 million wage budget. We'll see that in a second. 103 million. 103 million. I mean, most of that's going to have to go in the wage budget. 89k a week extra. That's one player. Obviously, we've got such a full squad. Anyone we get in, we'll have to get rid of other people. But some rejigging needed there. But that's quite a lot. We can get some players in with that. Stadium expansion, as we already agreed last year, will now go ahead. Going to take 7 months to complete. We'll expand capacity to 33,000. That will help commercially going forwards. Youth facility is going to be upgraded as well. So there we go. It doesn't look like I'm going to be sacked. We're down to stable, which for us isn't great. The board, safe to say, they're just content. They are just content. But we need to go away, get some get some better attacking players in. That is really the most important thing I think that we need to do. Bring some of the youngsters through as well and just kind of breathe some life into the side. Hopefully bring some of the youngsters through as well. I think you will just have years like this. There are years where you will just not be as good. The fact that we have still got into some form of Europe, but the fact that we haven't. You only have to think about real life. There are teams that, well, we've seen it in the save. Brighton got into the Europa League. They then got relegated the following season. They've come back and they got in the Europa League again. We have been consistently in Europe every year. Yes, this year wasn't as good. Yes, it was disappointing. Yes, it could have and should have been better, but it's not a complete and total disaster. 63 points is actually what we got last season. It's just this year other teams have done better. We haven't progressed, but actually we've stayed the same, and just because Brighton and Villa have had a really good season each, we've ended up finishing in 7th. We are consistent. We are a consistent top 7 team. It's just that final push in, and I think, ultimately it is just an issue of personnel. And if we can go out and get a better striker, a better winger, whatever, that would be great. It's just a question of whether we actually can, if that's actually a possibility, because these are the top valued players interested in us. Are these going to be the ones that make the difference? I don't know. And when you think how many players there are who don't even want to think about joining us, the actual best players, that's really what we're talking about. But anyway, that is going to be that. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like, make sure you subscribe as well so you don't miss what happens next season. It's been, well, a very interesting season, I think, in a lot of ways, but hopefully things next year can only get better.